Salvete Spectatores, it's Masopust, and we are back in our tutorial campaign, playing as Castile. And the war is incoming. It's only half a year until we can finally attack Granada. And they are cores, so you will see how actually it works from just declaring war on an enemy to finally really get some new land. Because the main goal in EU4 is just to acquire more land, more provinces, and integrate them wholly into your kingdom or empire, whatever. So let's talk a little bit about that. You can see, for instance, Cuenca, or however that's pronounced here, has a core. So we have a core on Cuenca. That means that it is integrated into our country. We have the local authorities under our control, under our payment. They pay taxes and so forth. You can see here the tax and the production income, and that's just the sum of those two. If you hover over it, you can see by what numbers they get multiplied. And down here is the resource. Every province has a resource. Click over trade goods. And here you can see there are quite a lot of different resources, and they have different worth. Iron is very valuable, not very, but it's valuable with 3. There are normal ones, 3. Grain has only 2, and there are some with 4. No, copper is also 3. Spices maybe? No, it's also 3. Sugar. Sugar is also 3. What? 1 second. Ha! Dice. I know, dice is 4. It's very rare, and those numbers get changed over time. So in the future, maybe sugar will become more... I don't know. You'll get more out of if you produce sugar. And what else can you see here? Talking about autonomy and unrest. Unrest is the percentage of how unhappy your population is. At the moment it is at 0, so nobody will revolt at all due to no negative modifiers, and we have quite high legitimacy and high tolerance of our Catholic faith. You can see here religion is Catholic, and it's our main religion, so we get a bonus. If you want to see how the bonus works, you go over here and see, okay, tolerance of the true faith, that's our faith, 4.8. And every other religion, those are heretics, those are heathens, get a penalty. 1 second. Bourgeoisie requests privileges. So this is a bad event. Either we lose 50 admin point or 50 diplomacy points. And diplomacy is definitely more valuable to us. But yeah, let's lose the admin points. Normally I don't like to lose admin points, but because they should be the most valuable most of the time, but not in this case. Okay, back to the province. And the autonomy is a rather new feature. It was introduced, I believe, in 1.8 Art of War DLC. And it tells us how independent, how self-governing a province is. If we have autonomy of 50, we only get half of the income and trade power and manpower and so forth. So when you conquer an enemy province, that's the point where I want to get to, the autonomy will be quite high because our rulership is not established very well. And the autonomy decreases per month at base by 0.1. There are modifiers that can enhance this or decrease it. And it's even possible that the autonomy can't get below a certain number. For instance, if you play the Ming, that's a Chinese... Wait a second, a Chinese dynasty, they can't get below 50 autonomy. So every province they own is only half the worth that it would be with another nation. Okay. And if we take an enemy province, we have to core it, and even then it's not really integrated because it has a lot of autonomy. Here you can see, okay, there's also an autonomy map mod, of course. If you click on it, you can see green is a good number, Most of them is 0. There's a little bit of autonomy left, but it will be gone in roughly 2 years. So that's no problem. My king, Portugal declared war upon their new enemy Morocco. They said conquest is a casus belli. So if you click on a Portuguese province and then click the diplomacy map mode, we can see, okay, Morocco is at war with Portugal is at war with Morocco and Masopust because they were allied with Morocco and joined the war on the defensive side. It's very bad if you don't join an ally in a war, be it offensively or defensively. We would lose 25 prestige. We only have 21, so we'd actually go negative, which is bad. So we want to accept it because we also want our allies, Portugal, to beat the crap out of Morocco, because Morocco is infidel Sunni religion and we don't like them. And Portugal is Catholic brethren. They really like us. We are even our historical friends. The last panel here. If you look here, okay, they have a claim on Tangiers, and that is the reason they declared war over. So the goal for Portugal is to get control of Tangiers, and if they have collected enough war score by either fighting victorious battles or occupying this province, they will eventually be able to make peace with Morocco on the terms of the surrender of Tangiers to Portugal. So let's accept. But if you accept, it doesn't mean that you actually have to fight for them. So I'm just gonna stay. I'm even not gonna put up my maintenance. If you remember the last episode, we reduced the maintenance of our troops so they don't have any morale and are in bad shape. But we won't do anything. We even leave our navies here at port because if you go on the trade map mode, you can see here, okay, the green map mode, the green color is our trade node, Sevilla. We want total control here, and if you look at the power, Portugal is a big rival. They hold the same trade power as we do here. We don't want that. Now every province adds a certain amount of trade power. This one, for instance, 1.7, and special trade nodes, special provinces like Andalusia or Lisboa have bonuses like Estuary, Guadiana or Tangus. They add trade power, and if they are an important center of trade, they even get more trade power. So we won't be able to have total control until we control Porto and Lisboa. But there are 3 provinces in Africa which are also part of our Sevillian trade node, and Portugal already controls one of them, so we definitely don't want Portugal to get control of Tangiers. This would be very bad, because then they would become even more powerful. We want to control Tangiers on our own, for our own. So, same thing with Melilla. And if we could get a control of Ceuta, this would be very good for us. Now, we cannot attack an ally, so we actually want Morocco to win this war, to get control of Ceuta, because Morocco is on the defensive here, but if they win the war, they can force concessions on Portugal on their own. So it is a possibility there that Ceuta could become part of Morocco, and then we could launch an attack on them and take all 3 provinces. All 3 of those guys. This would be excellent. And wow, Portugal has quite a good leader here, the Earl of Aranches, but they have a big problem here because they need to ship units via transport into Africa, and then they could easily get attacked by a larger Moroccan stack. And Morocco is quite a powerful nation, don't underestimate them. Especially in this layout here. In earlier games the thing looked different here. But now they're very strong, they have a lot of provinces and not too little manpower and stuff. Okay, Austria declared war upon Bohemia. This is shown to us because Austria is considered an important nation to us. But actually you can look here, Austria at war with Bohemia, Salzburg, Saxon, Thuringia, or Saxony I should say. It does not concern us at all, so I'm just gonna ignore it. And we are not aligned with any of those powers, so they won't call us in. Oh, I nearly missed that. we could have attacked Granada a time ago. So you see, I'm a little bit sloppy, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna raise autonomy now. Position our troops here, and if you were Granada as a player and you see that Castile raises autonomy and positions the troops in close vicinity to you, you'd be in big trouble and you want to, well, ready yourself for everything. And Granada has a problem. They don't have any allies. They would be displayed here. If you want to have a closer look, just hover over their diplomacy main screen, and it shows they only have rivals in Tlemcen. This is the blue guys here. And they're improving relations with us and with Tunis, but they don't have any allies. So if we want to attack a nation, first check their power. They have 6 troops, we have 30, no problem there. Navy is also inferior. But allies can be a very big problem. Sometimes in the past, the Grenadians would ally themselves with the Ottomans, who are a big nation in the east, and they could cause some serious problems, but I don't think that's even possible anymore. So, we will just wait until our morale gets fully improved. It ticks every month by 0.62, and while this shouldn't be a problem here, I still don't want to lose more men than necessary. Actually, if you select an army and you want to split it manually, you just click B, then it opens the split ledger, and if you again click B, it will move infantry and cavalry to the left and right. Alright. We have maxed out improving relations with Portugal. If you click here, we can only improve relations manually with a diplomat by 100. Now, it's over, and the diplomat, and the game asked me if we want to recall the diplomat because it won't do anything if we keep them improving relations. So we have maxed out relations with Navarra as well. Aragon is our enemy. What else could we do? We are improving relations with the papacy. We could ally them to get even more papal points out of, because look at here. The papal state of opinion of us is now at 106, so with maxed out opinion, like 200, we would get 100% bonus to our papal influence. Income, I could say. And actually we have 5 papacy points, so we could spend them to increase our influence in the Curia. Now we have a 50% chance of becoming the next papal controller. If, for instance, France decides to spend 5 points too, they even have 9, or here. England has even have 14, wow. They could spend. Also, then our chance would get decreased to 33%, and they would also get 33. Okay, so it's an interaction between all the powers that spend papacy points on the chance of becoming the next Curia controller. And we definitely want to become Curia controller because it's such a huge bonus, really. Especially early in the game. So, we want to improve relations with Austria. I'm just gonna do that because I like Austria. They are a natural ally, a historical ally. So I'm gonna improve relations with them. Because, why not? Let's recall, just for a few turns, the guy from Rome, the papacy. And, I don't know when, but I have said in an earlier episode that every army should have a leader. But, if you hover over the military power ledger, there it says 1 out of 2 leaders, so we could only have 2 leaders. As with the naval and army force limit, we can also go above it, but every leader you have above your leader limit will decrease your monthly military power gain by 1, and they don't want to do that, so we can recruit another leader, because 1 leader is free. We can always recruit 1 leader. We have him here, indicated by this little star, and we get a second one by staying over 25% or points power projection. Aside from giving us those bonuses you can see here, the following effects, trade power, blah blah, it gives us also a free leader. And if we manage to get over 50, we would get 1 extra admin, diplo and military power each month, which is very good. But it's not easy to stay over 50 power projection because it decreases every month, you can see here. We get power projection from declaring rivals, from embargoing rivals, from insulting rivals, from attacking rivals, and from forcing rivals to do bad things for him, to either annex stuff, to release their vassals, so forth. So it's actually an indicator of how effective and how successful you behave against your rivals. Okay, with the next turn, we have nearly full morale. Not quite, but I'm gonna attack now. And we have to declare a war goal. We can either site reconquest on Maria, Granada, and Jabal Tariq. Doesn't really matter, all of them are coastal provinces, all of them have the same fort, so it shouldn't be any difference. Portugal would not join because they're in another war, so they are occupied. They have no allies. And we're gonna declare war. Bam! Now, all the enemy troops are displayed in red. Those are both red, but it's two different wars. Down here you can see the two wars. One war is... This is the war ledger, you can see the troops, the navies, the paddles, and the power bar here. Everything that is displayed, and there are two wars. They are independent from each other, and they don't fight together. So Granada is not allied with Morocco or anything like that. First of all, we want to just annihilate the enemy force. Most of the time this is your first goal. Sometimes you can fare better without that, but that's another story. The next thing is we want to siege all the provinces, and that you can do by just clicking a movement order into the enemy province. Now you can see the enemy troops move too, and if you hover over them it says the army will arrive in Cordoba on April 11th. We will arrive in Granada on April 14th, so we won't be able to catch them. 10th here, so this army is faster because we have a general that has maneuver, which means the army is faster, and it's always a distance problem. From Jabal Tariq to Cadiz it's very short time, from Maria to Murcia it's a little bit longer. And apparently it's longer from Granada to Cordoba than from Jaén to Granada. So we will be able to catch them. Let's have a look. Now the army is at war, and 11 to 5,000 we should win, but to just make matters even worse for the Granadians, we will join with another 12,000 troops. There was an indicator alert that we won a battle here in Morocco. Interesting. Our merchant ships, or light ships, fought against the vile Moroccan navy here. And we didn't lose a ship, I believe, but we lost some hull strength. This is how well your ships are in order. This can be decreased by fighting or by staying in, I don't know, overseas provinces where the unit will take attrition. This is displayed here. Open sea, unit will take attrition. And if it reaches 0, the ship will sink. So you have to keep that in mind. Coastal provinces have a bonus when being besieged because they will get reinforcements over sea. This you can prevent when you blockade the enemy provinces with ships. We have a huge navy, so we can do that. We move a ship into an adjacent sea province, and here it displays 100%. Diplomacy, okay. They're both blocking Melilla and Maria, indicated by this little fence around their harbor here. And because this is a little bit of gamey or buggy, I don't know why, but there's also a Portuguese navy here blockading, and we double blockade now this port. So if we halve this and move out, it still shows 100%. You see that? So we don't need the whole navy. Oh, actually, wait a second. No. Okay, this is... Well, there's a little bit of a problem going on because we are at 2 independent wars, and it doesn't display it correctly if we really blockade. We only want to blockade this. We don't want to blockade this because we don't want any gains here in Morocco. Now it vanished, so we have to see Interesting. Okay, just keep it that way. It's whatever. You just want to blockade this, and here you can see without a blockade is it negative 63%, and now it's less. If we click at the siege, here you can see all the modifiers, and here it gives us negative reasons to finish the siege quicker because it has supply over sea. We want to blockade it. Here there are a lot of enemy provinces and we want to blockade them all, so we need more ships than those 6. They only have 20% blockade efficiency here. We want also our other ships, and the light ships have a stronger blockade efficiency. They are very effective at this matter. I now sorted this ship out because it wants to repair in the harbor. And now we get 100%. But you may remember we had this fleet here on protecting trade. And we still want to do this because now we get less money from trade. So let's just make sure that... Well, no, we cannot. We can actually send one ship on trading, like the broken one. Let's assign it to Sevilla. And here you can see now, because we don't protect trade anymore, the Portuguese have the total control here with 56%. This is bad. So you can see already waging war is costly and it reduces your efficiency of government, your income, everything. You lose men due to siege attrition. There's always 1% siege attrition if you siege something. That means every month 1% of your troops get destroyed. If you have the maintenance full up, it also gets replenished, but you lose manpower. Let's have a look up there. We should get 242 each month. But we actually get 3 per month because the rest flows into the replenishment of troops. We only need the same number of troops as there are in the garrison. And every fort level indicates how much men there are in the garrison. Fort level 2 means there were 2,000 men initially there. Siege attrition also applies somewhat to the defenders because they also get killed, and we can detach siege, so the surplus troops will go away, and we have less attrition because the 1% then only applies to 2,000 troops, not the 3. So it's a bad idea to stack all 20,000 troops in one province, because all 20,000 troops will lose 1%, which is considerably more. Now here you can see there's also an attrition bar because we have too many troops in one province. The supply limit is 2, but we have 23,000, so we want to split it and make sure that we don't suffer attrition in our own land, because that's just stupid. Now we blockade everything here. This is good. And this should speed up the sieges. Here you can see only 54%, but we blockade the port we want to. We don't blockade Melilla. We don't care about that. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about sieging. This is... You can basically ignore the numbers if we don't want to delve too deeply into it. You just have to know that it depends on if there is a naval coast province, and if you don't blockade it, you get a penalty. If there is a high fort level, it will take longer and you will need more men to maintain the siege. Third thing is, later in the game you will be able to recruit cannons as a third military unit here. But in 4049 there were no cannons on the battlefield, or maybe only experimental ones, and they weren't displayed. So if you move cannons into a territory that you want to siege, you will get a bonus. Look, here. You get even a +5 bonus if you move 10,000 artillery troops in there, but normally you don't want to do that. Third thing is that you can have a general that has siege value. This is the last number here. We have 0 here. You can also look at it quite right here. We have, unfortunately, no general that has siege value. This will also speed things up. But as I have... Okay, we have maxed out relations with the Papal State. Recall Diplomat. And there's a new pop-up event. Contacts in the Holy See. You can read the text, but if you're in a hurry or you don't just know the events by heart, you won't read them anytime. You can just look at here. Okay, what happens? Whatever we can do to help, we will. And it's basically how should I say it? Decision if you want to invest some admin power to gain a cardinal. Asturias will be the seat of a new cardinal. Where's Asturias? It's this province here. And having more cardinals results in a higher income of papal influence. We are Spain and we specialize in Catholicism, so yes, we want to do that. Now, there's a difference of 200 admin points. That's a big amount. So this is actually a very difficult decision. And to be honest, at the moment, I'm not really sure what to do here. So I will end the episode here, and I'll see you in the next time, and then we will decide what to do here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon.